What's up, everybody? It's the debut, episode number one of Geeky Reality here with myself and Skinslip. The much anticipated podcast is finally happening after a bunch of technical issues, which we will not bore you with the details of. But what's up, man? How are you doing?
Doing all right. A lot better than you. At least YouTube doesn't hate me.
Yes.
YouTube hates him, just so you guys know.
Well, to make the really long story short, there's a new live streaming beta for YouTube to broadcast directly, and it was not allowing me to do the Hangouts on air, basically. And it turned out that the whole time it was being tripped up by the fact that I can't do the actual title of the show the way I want because it has to have dashes in it to be proper. So I'm just going to have to edit it when the live broadcast is over. But that whole process caused a 45-minute headache. So, yeah.
Can confirm, YouTube hates him. Everything he was having problems with works just fine for me. It's funny. Because he's stuck on this beta end, so...
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I don't know if it's because I'm on a different partner network than you or what.
I'm not part of a network anymore. I'm off. I'm still a partner. I'm still partnered 100%. I'm not part of the network anymore. I dropped out of full screen. So.
Well, I tried to drop out of full screen, but I tried to drop out of it too late, and I already renewed my contract. So I got to wait
a year. Yeah.
So I got to wait a year.
It's not so bad, you know.
But I definitely know what next network I want to go to. But that's a whole other subject for all the time. So basically, what this is just me, as the title suggests, just me and Brandon geeking out about whatever we're going to geek out about. So I want to start off by answering some viewer questions because it's always fun when you have your questions, but then you have other people to bounce off of. So first question I got here is Doctor Who related, which is, Raz, who do you think Maisie Williams, aka Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, is going to play in Doctor Who Series 9? Now, I don't know if Skinslip wants to formulate a theory or not because he's not all the way caught up yet. But for me, the top three choices have to be Susan Foreman, the Doctor's granddaughter, a younger, unforeseen regeneration of River Song, or Jenny, the Doctor's daughter from Doctor Who Series 4, the last season with David Tennant. Those are my three choices. So, any thoughts there for you?
I don't imagine her being a regular character because she's got Game of Thrones going on. And, you know, she still has to come back from, like, you know, the other lands to, you know, come take vengeance and murder all the people that she's supposed to murder.
Right. But they could have entirely different filming schedules.
They could. That's just a lot of work. Plus, you know, I'm sure if she's smart, she'll want to, like, parlay that into some film, you know.
Well, we're guaranteed to have her for 2 episodes. So we have a 2-episode arc of her, and then depending on who she is, we'll determine, you know, whether or not she goes forward or gets killed or whatever.
I would be really cool to see her as just a recurring character every now and then show up, you know, like.
Yeah, but do you have a theory? Do you think it's clearly someone that knows the Doctor, which is why everybody thinks it's going to be a character we've already seen, but there's plenty of people that know the Doctor we haven't seen. So it could be a complete different character that we have no idea who it is.
I think it'd be really cool if she were a Time Lord. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why a lot of people say Susan Foreman or Jenny or River Song. All three of those choices I gave would be either be a Time Lord or have Time Lord characteristics. So it'd be pretty awesome. But I'm super stoked to have her. You know, I'm a huge Game of Thrones freak, but I'm an even bigger Whovian just because there's more of Who. So I'm seriously freaking out and excited to have her part of the Whoverse. And I know that's one of your mini goals is to, you know, get yourself caught up on Doctor Who. I know. So
it's someday.
Yeah. Well, the problem is Sean really wanted to expose him as he did me. But I'm not in the same time zone, or I can't work around his time zone the way Brandon can, so I haven't been able to do it yet. But Sean really wanted Brandon to go back and see the original run of the show. So he's trying to rewatch all the classics before he gets into the new series, and I think it might be to the point where you just have to have your own separate viewing of the new series, or you're never going to get caught up.
I know, right?
But, yeah. That's just my suggestion, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
See, 6 months ago, we were watching every week.
Yeah.
And no, it was almost like a year ago. We were watching every week on Sundays, and then shit happened. It got delayed, and then we had all these streams that we were doing, and now we stream 3 times a week, and we don't really have time to watch stuff anymore. And then we started doing Trailer Park Boys for some reason, which we're almost done with. So maybe we can back to Doctor Who after that.
Yeah, just if Sean, if you're seeing this after the fact, which I'm sure you'll promote it and I'll promote it. So hopefully he sees it at some point. Sean, let the man watch Doctor Who. Okay. Yeah.
I demand Who.
Anyway, okay, next question. Ooh, this is a good one. And I know you have opinions on this one. And if you're wondering where I'm getting these from, I've had them memorized for 3 weeks because we've been trying to do this for 3 weeks. But as Skinslip just said, crap happens. And this is the first time we've been able to actually get together and do it. If you're wondering what time this show is going to be, it's going to be around between 3 and 4 Eastern every Wednesday. The only time it might fluctuate will be, barring technical issues like today, would be the fact that Wednesdays are also my $5 movie night at my cinema. So every once in a while I'm trying to catch a movie. So I might have to, move the showtime around in order to get to the bus to catch the movie on time. But other than that, it should be around 3 or 4. I think probably 4, just to give Skinslip a little bit more time to, do what he needs to do. So
I guarantee I won't be able to do this weekly. I'll do it mostly weekly, but I'm going to need extra days off every now and then. So I like to endeavor to say that we will try to get one of these out every week. Try. See the word try? Cool. Underline the word try. There we go.
Well, okay.
Some weeks I'm going to be backlogged in editing, and I'm just going to have to skip and get my work done because I got to get videos up Wednesday, Friday, Saturday every week. And if I don't get 3 videos up every week, I miss my goal of 3 videos a week every week this year is my goal. So
Right. And if you're wondering what he means by goals, Patreon. No amount is too big, no amount is too small, but I'm sure we'll cover that again at the end of the video. That's totally fine. If it doesn't happen every week, just know that we haven't gone anywhere, and it'll hopefully at least be a bi-weekly thing. So there you go. But the next question that I was getting into is Raz. And this is from Mad for Movies. If I don't mention your YouTube name, it's just because I got the question more than once, as was the case with Doctor Who. A bunch of people asked me that same question, so I didn't bother. Yes. But Mad for Movies says, Raz, do you think there's going to be a Green Lantern TV show again? And I'm assuming you mean, is there going to be a live-action version like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Gotham? I would love to see that, but the problem is deciding between Hal Jordan and John Smith, and if
John Stewart.
John Stewart. Sorry, still Doctor Who on the brain. John Stewart, and once you decide between those 2 lanterns, who would play them? I would love to see it. But I think the more likely option is if they're going to do Green Lantern, they'll introduce it in the Arrowverse the same way they did the Flash, and then, roll him out into his own series. But yes, I would love to see it.
What I think is,
I don't think it's real strong possibility right now, unless you want to go with the whole Diggle is Green Lantern theory, which I've already gone over in a video why I wouldn't do that.
Well, we already know who he is. He's the Guardian.
Yes.
We know that.
He's going to be the Guardian coming up in season 4 of
awesome.
Arrow. But
just saying,
that doesn't mean he can't eventually be some kind of TV version of John Stewart somehow.
Of course not.
That could happen.
Or just a Green Lantern. He doesn't have to be the John Stewart character.
Yeah, he could just get a power ring, and they can explain it however they want.
He just I would love Green Lantern and suing Green Lantern Corps TV show, which would be awesome.
Yes, well, the Green Lantern animated series. That's what I was about to say. The animated stuff that they've done with Green Lantern, First Flight, Emerald Knights, and the animated series have all been absolutely freaking fantastic. The animated series is Bruce freaking Timm. And that's all I need to say about that.
I don't like the animation. It's weird.
within it. That's true.
But the stories are great. Everything's great about it. So it's like, it's so still immensely watchable, you know?
Yes. And that's obviously a perfect question for you today because of the shirt you chose today.
Yeah, exactly. So now I would say the introduction of a Green Lantern would probably happen in Legends of Tomorrow. That starts what? This year, right?
Yes.
August, September time?
It'll be in the break. The mid-season break in Arrow and the Flash. So they'll go 8 episodes like they always do. They'll have their Christmas break. But during their Christmas break this year, you don't have to go without superhero
That's really smart.
fandom because that's when Edge of Tomorrow or Legends of Tomorrow will start.
Yeah.
And actually leading up to season 2 of The Flash and season 4 of Arrow is going to be the Vixen cartoon series, but that's only going to be a video on demand thing on the CW streaming service. So I actually have to look into that, and I will put it in a future comic culture. Yeah, so I'm going to put it in a future comic culture video, or I'm going to, put it in the next episode of this podcast. But I have to get full details on that. But I have a source that is really hooked up really well with DC, so I'll be able to get that answer fairly quickly.
Isn't there a Suicide Squad show coming too?
There's a Suicide film, yes.
Oh, no, different. It's not related. The film's not related.
Oh, the Suicide Squad show could happen because we've seen that a lot on Arrow. But if they did that, they would have to move Diggle from Arrow to Suicide Squad because he's been such a key part of Suicide Squad in that TV universe. So
yeah, but they don't necessarily have to move him. He can just he just not be in every episode of Suicide Squad. You know.
That's true. I mean, they go
pass it down to me. Here's your next mission. Problem solved.
The thing about Suicide Squad is it's always interchangeable characters.
Yeah,
that's what makes Suicide Squad.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it could absolutely work. It's a rumor right now. Nothing's been confirmed. The thing that really, and this leads me into my next question. So I'm gonna say it before we go into it. Raz, have you seen the Supergirl trailer? And what do you think about how the show is going to be in tone? I'll do you one better. I got hooked up with the pilot, and the review's already been pre-filmed and pre-scheduled to go up the day of 9 p.m. Eastern after the show airs, so I don't get in any kind of trouble for, reviewing it before you're supposed to review it.
Don't want to spoil it for anyone either.
Yes, don't want to spoil it for anyone either. But the show's going to be fantastic in tone. It's done by Team Berlanti, which is the same team as the Arrow and the Flash. So I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's going to be a great, great show. And I really like the idea of doing Supergirl versus Superman because it's a slightly different mythology. It opens up the ability to do different characters than we're going to see on the big screen. I think it's all going to work. The biggest issue with it right now is the fact that it's Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, which, if you're a comic book fan, you already know Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern is also the home of what? Gotham. So somebody at DC really screwed up because they've got two competing properties in the exact same time slot.
No, that's not screwed up. That's them purposely trying to drive the ratings of Gotham down so Fox will cancel it. Because they did the deal with Fox to do Gotham. I think it's Fox. Don't Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. Because of whatever deal they struck with them, like it was a money thing, right? Like a contract dispute, and that was like an agreement part of it. So they want it to fail. They don't want it to succeed. They don't want them making money off their properties. They don't care if they Gotham.
That is true. I mean, but they're putting a lot of work from what we've heard into season 2. They're trying to make season 2 good. So what would be really cool though is if Gotham doesn't succeed on Fox pulls the plug, and then they can bring Gotham on to the CW and have their entire universe on one network.
Oh, dude, I would totally go for that, but I don't want the same universe. I want them to reboot Gotham and do it in the style. It's a completely different style from the Flash Arrow.
Yeah, the Berlanti shows are amazing.
The Berlanti-verse?
Yeah, that Berlanti-verse is what I like to call it. Some people call it the Arrowverse because Arrow came first, but we call it the Berlanti-verse. But, yeah, Berlanti and his team are amazing people. I mean, the fact that they're able to do what they've done on network shows. I mean, we talked a couple of videos ago about the benefits of not having a network and what it did for Daredevil, but the fact that these are network shows and they're being done this well is amazing to me. So yeah, I'm real. I would love to see a Batman property handled by the Berlantiverse, but we'll see what happens with that. But if they are trying to allow people to watch Gotham and Supergirl, then there's going to be a lot of DVR ratings that they have to take into account. With most likely Gotham, because people like us are already going to know that Supergirl is the better show because it's the Berlanti show. So, and plus, he and I already have a built-in problem with that time slot because that's also Monday Night Raw's time slot as well.
Well, so, yeah, it is exactly. I already have to. I don't have TV, so I don't actually get to watch Raw all that often. Hey. Sorry, cat was sitting in my garbage.
Sherlock is apparently being a bad person right now.
Hey, come here.
Hey, kitty.
Come here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sherlock. For those of you who have not seen any of the millions of live streams that Skinslip does every week.
Oh,
there's a Sherlock. Hello, pretty girl.
My baby. She's being a butthead, so I don't want to. She doesn't like being held down, so I don't want to let her sit in my lap either. I don't want to reward her.
Yeah. But yeah, but you have a really good point. I think they maybe do want Gotham to fail, which the only reason I wouldn't want a complete reboot, like I wouldn't mind a reboot per se, like start over per se, but I love the cast of the show. The cast of the show is amazing.
Most of it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily want the cast to be replaced. Just the showrunners.
It's just a completely different tone of show.
It is a different.
It would not fit with the Arrowverse. I think if Arrowverse wants to compete with Gotham, they should have done a Nightwing show.
Right, and the fact that they're doing Vixen, who's a slightly darker character, if she's brought on to do any of the live action stuff at a later point, that'll open the door for Nightwing and darker stuff like that too. Mm-hmm. So there's a possibility of that. But as far as Supergirl goes, which was the original question, Supergirl's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for it.
I have no interest in the show, but I'll check it out for a few episodes.
Well, you might be surprised about how much of a fan of the property you become, because a lot of people didn't know a lot about the Green Arrow before now.
Well, I like Supergirl. I like headband 70s and 80s Supergirl, the one who died in the Crisis on Infinite Earths in '85. I like that Supergirl. So every Supergirl that's come after that, since the Supergirl movie, which is a terrible movie also, but at least I don't know, she looked right. But ever since that, I just no interest in the character.
This version of Kara looks amazing. She looks way better and more right for the character than the Smallville Supergirl ever did. Like, don't even get me started on that mess.
Well, and then there's like this modern comic book version where she's this weird, like, mini skirt, tube top wearing. Like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, no, just give me a cool character. Like, I don't need some hot version of Superman. Like,
and without being able to elaborate on it, the thing that's gonna make this work, I think, is how they explain why Supergirl is as young as she is, because comic book readers will know what Supergirl's mission was, and they totally get rid of that. Like, this is why she's coming on Earth so many years after Superman's already been here. Mm-hmm. Like they established that right from the very first few moments of the show. So I think that alone is gonna make the show work and make people want to get
I'll check it out. I'll give it a chance.
So anyway,
I'm not the biggest fan of Arrow either. I'm actually a big fan of Flash. I liked the first 5 episodes of Flash. So much.
Well, you just finished season 2, so season 3, I'm telling you, crap hits the fan, and I've already told you some stuff about what's coming up in season 4. So yeah, it gets better. Trust me.
Well, it's not a bad show. Like, I like the show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, but the Flash season 1 did so many things right.
The Flash got me into Arrow. Put it that way.
Especially compared to the original '90s show, which was good, but it wasn't.
I love that they brought that guy back as his dad. That's
yes, cool. He's Barry's dad now, which is great. I love it. But that show was good, but it wasn't like everything a Flash show should be. This show absolutely is, especially with with what we know is coming in season 2. But I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to ruin it for Skinslip, who I think is still catching up a little bit.
Yep.
But
I just finished Game of Thrones, and I'm still catching up on BoJack Horseman season 2 and X-Files. I'm still way behind on X-Files. I was trying to get caught up before the new show showed up, but I'm nowhere near that.
But as far as what we heard at Comic-Con, like that's my next question. Like of all the stuff we heard about the superhero shows at Comic-Con, like what got you most excited? Without being able to talk about it and ruin it too much for Skinslip, like who the big bad is going to be going in the Flash season 2 has me really juiced, and I really like the direction that Arrow's going to go in season 4. And that's basically that's what got me most excited as far as superhero stuff goes at Comic-Con. Other than
Batman vs Superman was for me. That was
well, they're talking about the TV universe.
No, gotcha.
But as far as like the movie and film universe, Batman vs Superman, amazing. For being a completely original story, I'm really like surprised about how good it looks like it's gonna be. It really. Even the whole thing about they had to move Gotham so close to Metropolis, like it makes total sense why they did that now from the trailer. Like you completely understand that. And as far as the other 2 movies go, they look amazing too. Suicide Squad looks amazing. Harley Quinn and Joker, the movie is basically what they should call that because those characters are like But so I can't wait for Suicide Squad. And I can't wait for Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool freaking.
Haven't seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen the trailer for it yet.
Teaser yet? I meant.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you already know just from people's reaction that Deadpool freaking stole Comic-Con.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was perfect casting for Deadpool. I didn't like how they took his voice away like 20 minutes after you saw him for the first time, and that was it. You got 20 minutes of Ryan Reynolds being perfect as Deadpool, and then he becomes some crazy mutant. So the new one, I'm totally excited for because they're not gonna fuck this one up. Okay. I'm pretty confident that's gonna be awesome.
All right, here we go. This is the big one. I mean, we got some wrestling stuff, and we can ramble about wrestling anytime. But I think this is probably the one that's gonna be the biggest ramble of any question answer, knowing me and Brandon the way I do. Opinions on Jon Snow being dead or not dead, and if not dead, what is going to happen with Jon? So, do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to?
I'll just get my ideas out there. I don't think he's dead. I think originally George R.R. Martin intended him to be dead right here. But I think he's seen how popular the show is and how popular Jon Snow is. I think he's gonna write some miracle's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
Okay.
I just think something's gonna happen. Someone's gonna save him.
Yeah. Well, okay, he didn't really wasn't as passionate about it as I thought. So apparently, it's gonna be me that rambles about this.
I'm probably crazy. It's probably not. He's not. He's dead. I know he's dead.
No, he's actually. I actually don't believe he is either. And here's where it gets crazy. So, I believe that Jon Snow is the one that's going to end up on the Iron Throne by the end, and I believe that was always the plan. And I'm going to tell you why. If you remember back to series 1 or series, I'm still stuck on Doctor Who season 1, when Ed Stark was talking to Baratheon. What's Baratheon's first name? The king.
Stannis Baratheon.
No, not Stannis. The king that died.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, yeah, people know who I'm talking about. When he was talking to him about Jon Snow and that whole situation, and King Baratheon asked who Jon Snow's mother was, the only thing he ever said was that her name was Elena. And anybody that knows the backstory, is ready in the backstory of Game of Thrones, knows, or heard in my case, any of the backstory of Game of Thrones, knows that Elena is the name of Ned Stark's sister. So I actually think that Ned Stark is not Jon Snow's dad, but rather Jon Snow's uncle. And Jon Snow is the son of his sister Elena. Now, that begs the question, well, then why is that such a big deal? Here's why. The father of Jon Snow is, um, oh shit, I forgot his first name now. Hold on. Um, Wait, okay. My brain's farting, so just bear with me here. But you'll know what I'm talking about if you're a huge Game of Thrones fan. He's the Targaryen brother. The big, huge fighter with that, unbreakable sword. He is the father of Jon Snow. And the reason I say that is because when we hear about the battle at the Tower of, right before the Battle of Tower of Joy, there was a thing where he was fighting for the queen, and when he won that fencing fight, he was supposed to give a rose to the most beautiful person in the audience, and he gave it to Elena Stark. He didn't give it to his wife. So him and Elena Stark went off, had an affair. Elena Stark gave birth to Jon Snow in the Tower of Joy, and that's why Jon Snow is the key to this whole thing, because he has the most royal blood of anybody, because he's going to be both a Stark and a Targaryen simultaneously. That is my theory, and if I'm right, I'll still bow down to my greatness. And the other clue to that theory is that if you remember, I can't remember what season it was, but there was a scene with Daenerys Khaleesi where she was dreaming about the Iron Throne and there was snow falling, which means that she has a connection to Jon Snow. So it all makes sense if you think about it. And if I could remember the name of, I'm sure I'm going to get a gajillion comments from the Game of Thrones loyalists. I welcome them. If I could remember the dude's name, it would make a lot more sense. But that's my theory. He's the son of a Targaryen and a Stark, and therefore he's going to end up on the Iron Throne.
My theory is that the oldest sister, because of all the shit she's going through, is going to end up being like a terrible, horrible person, ascend the Iron Throne. Arya is going to come back and it's going to be sister versus sister on the steps of the Iron Throne.
That would be cool.
Blood.
But I really want something good to happen for the Targaryens, because I freaking love Khaleesi. Khaleesi's the bomb. She's like the best character on the show that's not Arya Stark. So I really want something good to happen for her. But we can just talk about Game of Thrones for a second. This is not a particular question, but what did you think when Arya went blind? That surprised the frick out of me.
But it may not be permanent. I don't know.
It may or may not.
We don't know. That was the fucking last thing we saw.
But we could see like a Daredevil kind of situation where all of her other senses get heightened so good that she just becomes an even more badass fighter than she's already been. Like, that would be amazing. But it was a really interesting plot twist. It's either going to make her great or sucky now. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But
I don't know. We'll see what happens, obviously.
All right. Do you think that the House of Baratheon's completely dead now? Because it looks like they are. There's no Baratheons left. They're gone.
Yeah, they're all gone, huh?
So that's one less house to deal with.
The House Baratheon is no more. There's probably Baratheons back at home. They probably has a lineage at home. It's just there's no one to defend that place either.
Yeah, exactly. There's no one that has their castle anymore. So, and I want to know what happened to Bram Stark. We haven't seen Bram Stark in a year. So where the heck is he? Last time we saw him, we realized that he turns into a wolf all the time, and then he just disappeared.
Oh, he's the wolf that's in captivity, I bet.
Yes, he is.
The one who saved Sam.
Yeah. So,
that's right.
Him and Sam are going to get hooked up probably in season 5 is probably what's going to happen. So, season 6, sorry. but I just there's so many. That's the problem with the Game of Thrones universe. Like people say, Game of Thrones is gonna be over in 2 years. How can you finish the story in 2 years? Because there's so many characters you introduce and so many stories you got to wrap up. You can't wrap that up in 20 something odd
If I
episodes.
were George R. R. Martin, I'd write the last book an open ending and tell the movie guys to just go for it. The TV show guys to go for it.
And let them
Something.
and let them continue it for as long as they want. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I
That's
would
right.
love that.
He'd be a consultant still. He'd still work on it. He just wouldn't be writing novels. He'd do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
But
Right?
the only problem with that theory is like you're gonna end up having to kill characters off because you're not gonna be able to afford them if it goes 10, 15,
That
20
happens
years.
with every character. That happens in every show except for Supernatural, where somehow Castiel, Sam, and Dean have been around for 7 seasons together. Though obviously the boys have been around for like this 11th season they're going into. I mean, like, so shows that they do that. Look at Star Trek. How many times did they kill off characters or make characters leave to bring new characters on in their place? Because that's what happens, you know?
Right, but I just don't want Game of Thrones. I mean, yeah, we know anybody can die, and that's part of the appeal.
And not everyone has to die.
But I just don't want it to be a thing where it's like a soap opera and everyone dies just because.
No. See, the way Game of Thrones should happen is like some characters are going to have a happy ending. And their happy ending is they get what they want and they settle down, and you see them every now and then. And that's it.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, Cersei's definitely got a very interesting storyline now because everybody hates her even more. Like the whole freaking Westeros like despises her because she just had that walk of shame. So
yeah,
there's so
I didn't
much.
think she was gonna make that alive. I thought she was gonna die.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna die too. So.
Wait until JB gets back. Wait until JB gets back. Some religious motherfuckers gonna get murdered on Game of Thrones because they pissed off the wrong goddamn people.
Well, yeah, because his daughters died. Unless she survived, she died on that boat. So he's got he's got the war with Dawn happening, and then he gets back to King's Landing and finds out what happened to Cersei. Oh, good lord. Yeah. But anyway, enough geeking out Game of Thrones. We got more stuff to cover here. Oh, okay. Well, we already covered that a little bit, but I mean, for Superman thought it's going to be a great story. That's really all we need.
So apparently, as of today, Jurassic Park is a number 3 movie of all time with $1.522 billion at the global box office. It just beat Avengers, the first Avengers. So it'd be the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time.
We're talking about Jurassic World now.
Jurassic World, sorry, yeah.
Wow.
That was the news that was like that flew by my timeline right before we had all those problems.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't know what I think about that because, I've heard such mixed things about Jurassic World as far as the plot goes. So
I really liked Jurassic World. I thought it was fun, but yeah. Flaws and all, I still enjoyed it.
Is it better or worse than the third one? Because the third one was such a
way better than the third one. Way better.
Okay, well that's good to know.
I like the third one. The third one's fun. It's grindhousey, but I mean, it's the fourth one's way better.
Yeah, I didn't see Jurassic World in the cinema because a lot of people know about my CP and my star reflex and movies like that. You just don't want to jump 500 times in a cinema with people because they think you're dying and it takes away from them enjoying the film.
And you watching the movie that allows you to pause it if it gets too tense. You can wait.
Yeah, and I can take a break.
Calm down. Exactly.
Yeah.
There are a few scenes, a few jumps in it. Like I would say maybe 5. Nothing super crazy. Nothing super crazy, but there are some jumps and lots of excitement. So, I mean, I think you'll have fun watching it.
And I'm a huge fan of the Jurassic universe. Like, I read the novels before I saw the first film. And I actually thought at one point I was going to be a paleontologist. Like, that's how hardcore I am into it. Like, I buy into the whole thing. Even though I'm a big believer in creation, and everybody knows that, I actually do buy into the fact there can be evolution along with creation. I actually do think that birds came from raptors because, there's just too much evidence that supports it for it not to be the case. So, yeah, I'm a huge dinosaur freak, so I really do want to see it, but I just purposely waited for the Blu-ray for that reason. So we'll see what my thoughts are on it when I get a chance to see it. But as far as being the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time. That's surprising when you consider like E.T., Star Wars, like all
Yep.
the great movies that there could have been in that spot. You know, that's surprising.
Well, this is just in its original run. Star Wars, E.T., all those movies you named have made lots more money than that, but not in their original run.
That's true.
That's the difference here. So
yeah, that's very true. All right, so moving on from Jurassic World, let's talk some Square Circle, man, because we haven't been able to do that in a while.
Fuck yeah.
Taker coming back. Taker surprised the frick out of everybody. Well, there were rumors, but who's going to believe rumors about Taker when it's not WrestleMania, given what we've seen the last few years? But sure enough, Battleground ends with Taker beating the living crap out of Brock Lesnar. And then the next night on Raw, freaking melee, they're tearing each other apart. The whole freaking roster has to pull them apart. So the rematch is set for SummerSlam. Lesnar, Taker 2 in the modern era. What do you think about it? It definitely got me jazzed up.
I hope Taker loses.
Really, because I think Taker has to win here because he's already lost to Mania.
He doesn't need anything.
What would be the point of a rematch if Taker's going to lose?
Maybe here's my theory. Lost against Brock Lesnar. Won against who did he beat last year? This year,
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, which is bullshit. That shouldn't have happened. But
whatever.
That's neither here nor there. That was a few months ago. But I think he's going to lose this match, and then the next WrestleMania match is going to be his retirement match. I really think they should do that. And whoever he faces, it should be someone up and coming, younger than him, who needs something to prove, who he respects, to pass the torch to at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of all.
Right. So if he loses at Mania, that's exactly my point. He loses another match at Mania, he doesn't need to lose the SummerSlam match. The SummerSlam match should be his last victory.
No, see, here's the thing. He loses the second match, like, to Brock Lesnar, and he's like, maybe I don't have it. Like, it's kind of like I don't know if I still got it, but let's try this one more time, right?
Right.
You know, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool.
Well, I still want to see, I may be in the minority now, but I still really think there's a lot of value in Undertaker versus Sting. So
I do think that would be interesting, yeah.
So if you do that, you almost have to do that on Mania stage. And then it's like, well, who wins? You know? But that was my next question was, after the whole Taker Lesnar thing, the rumor is that there's going to be a tag, the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns feud is going to continue, which I'm not a Roman Reigns guy. Everybody knows that, so I'm not going to go on for 2 hours reigning against Roman Reigns right now because there's no point. But the rumor is that feud is going to continue, but since Luke Harper reunited with Bray, it's going to be a tag match with Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns and Sting, which everybody's been clamoring for Bray Wyatt versus Sting. I'm a huge fan of that. I would not mind seeing that at all.
That'd be interesting. Especially if you know he's going to put Bray Wyatt over. Because Bray Wyatt, by the way, I'm super happy that the family's back together. I was just saying right before the pay-per-view, it'd be great to get the band back together because I liked the Wyatt.
Well, and that was the room. That was the whole idea of putting him and Rowan back together anyway. But then Rowan got hurt.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Here's the thing: I've always been drawn to outsider factions. I've always loved the Ministry, the Flock. You know, all those like outsider factions. Like Raven, I was a huge Raven mark because of it. So I'm a huge. When the Wyatt family started, I was like, "This is awesome." What should happen is at SummerSlam. This is what I would do. The Taker's about to lose. The lights go up. The lights come on. The Wyatt family's there, and they beat the crap out of Brock. Taker wins. He joins the Wyatt family as like a patriarch.
Oh, Taker's the patriarch of the Wyatts. I never thought of that, but that would be awesome.
The Dark Lord they worship.
Because then he can go back to the Ministry, Taker. That would be so badass.
He doesn't have to wrestle. He just needs to be intimidating and he does really great promos on the mic. So
he does.
Him be dark and evil.
And now that he's getting older, it actually helps his voice because I was listening to that promo. I was like, he's so raspy and so like struggling, but I love it because it makes him sound darker. It makes him sound darker. So, but yeah, I would love to see the the Wyatts versus Roman Reigns and Sting. Only problem is with Rowan hurt, that means that Dean Ambrose can't be in that match unless it's a 3-on-2 match. So what do you do with Dean?
He fights 3-on-2 because they didn't give a crap.
Yeah, I mean the Wyatts probably wouldn't care.
Ambrose is the new Mick Foley.
He is the new Mick Foley.
He'll fight anybody, anywhere.
He will.
And you believe. Here's the thing: he is not a tall guy. He's not particularly good on the mic. He's not bad. Has some real brilliant moments. But what you like about the guy is that you can throw him down a flight of stairs. He will get back up. He will continue the match, and you are impressed. He's the Jackie Chan. He's the new Jackie Chan of wrestling. Like that's why I love Mick Foley. He's a living stuntman. He did stuff that stuntmen would be like, "Whoa, there was no pad, really?" Like
yeah.
So
I totally agree that is Dean Ambrose's appeal. I'm saying that if he can't be involved in Roman Reigns' storyline at SummerSlam, what do you do with him?
Go. Maybe he's facing Seth Rollins at SummerSlam.
Well, you saw Raw though, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see Raw?
No.
Okay, well, I can't say anything then, but it's pretty
I'm not
clear.
going to see it, so you can just spoil it.
Well, are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty clear that John Cena, there's going to be champion versus champion at SummerSlam now. Because that's why they didn't have Owens win the U.S. title, which, by the way, pisses me the frick off. I mean, what was the point of that great feud? The greatest freaking feud ever to put a young guy over. Greatest stamp of approval we have seen in the last decade, without a doubt. John Cena freaking saying Kevin Owens should not have taken 14 years to be here. Kevin Owens is a freaking mega main event player. He's going to beat me in my first match. He's going to look amazing every time he steps in the ring with me. But he doesn't win the U.S. title. What the frick? I don't know. I was probably Vince McMahon pulling the panic button. He's like, no. I got to do champion versus champion. If Lesnar's not winning the title, so Cena has to hold on the title. But now it just makes Kevin Owens look like another Dolph Ziggler, another Cesaro, another, he's a talented guy, but he's got nowhere to go and no direction because he's not a champion. And that pisses the frick out of me. I don't know about you, but that really made me angry.
It's kind of annoying. I ain't gonna lie.
Even if you're not, I mean, I know you are, but even if you hadn't been an independent fan and known who Kevin Owens was when he was Kevin Steen, I mean, just those 3 matches alone makes you want to see Kevin Owens succeed. I mean,
absolutely, he's a fantastic wrestler. It's insane how good he is,
and his mic skills are amazing as well. I mean, he's the complete package, that guy. So he just, like, what do you do now? Like, the smart thing would have been, like, if they're gonna, okay, here's how you solve it, I guess. If you're gonna do Cena versus Rollins at SummerSlam, you can't forget about the U.S. freaking title because you've spent all this time building it back up with the open challenges, making it a symbol of excellence. And say what you want about Cena. Cena has elevated his game. There are all these great workers he's been in the ring with. It actually has made him a better wrestler.
I find it ridiculous that he's doing a Canadian Destroyer as a finisher, though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a slap in the face of indie guys. It's like a hey, here's your favorite move. Like, fuck you, Jesus Christ.
Right.
I don't know. It feels weird with him.
But I mean,
who am I to judge a man for wanting to do a move that he likes? All right, so
right. And I do think it shows that John Cena, has elevated himself because of the guys he's been in the ring with. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do Rollins versus Cena, then you can't forget about the U.S. title. He's got to wrestle twice. Make it a fatal 4-way. Make it Owens, Cesaro, and Rusev. And heck, if you want to make it a 5-way, throw Ambrose in there. I don't care. But put those guys in a match with Cena. Let hopefully Owens, if not Owens, Cesaro, walk out with the U.S. title. Let that be the end of that, and then Cena can beat Rollins if that's what you want him to do at that point. Agree or disagree?
I see that could work. I don't know how to book that. Like, that one's really, like, I have ideas, but I mean,
if you're not gonna put a mid-card strap, that's the thing. Ryback is hurt right now, So unless you vacate the Intercontinental title again, which we don't know how serious his staph infection is, so that might be hitting a panic button.
He might be only out for like a week or two. Like it
Yeah.
depends on how bad the
So,
infection is.
but if you don't have an Intercontinental,
He could just be Caro. He could just fucking fall over and die. It would just like that's staph infection, bro. You gotta be careful about that shit.
Right,
You really can't fuck around with that.
He really can't. So unless they're gonna vacate the IC title again, and all those guys can go after that belt, then like it's almost like what do you do? There's all this great mid card guys, and that's the problem. The mid card scene is so freaking strong right now. What do you do with all those guys? You just put them in a match and say nothing's on the line in the match. Is that all you can do?
Or you give the winner a shot at one of the titles of choice.
Or, do a second Money in the Bank match. I don't know. Because Sheamus winning Money in the Bank made no sense. Only reason Sheamus won Money in the Bank is because he's going to be freaking Bebop and freaking TMNT too.
Yep, and right around the time when that's going to come out, they're going to have him cash in or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to be a face again all of a sudden because little kids have to cheer him because he did a Turtles movie.
Yep.
Such BS. But anyway. Problems aside, I thought Battleground was really strong because the freaking divas, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte finally on the freaking main roster. Thank heavens above. Such a great match. Amazing match. And
so good.
And there's two more solid matches on Raw, which is why you should watch Raw. There was a Charlotte versus Brie 1-on-1, and then there was a tag match, Sasha and Naomi versus Becky and Paige. So both those matches were amazing and really well done. And it's almost like who's going to be women's champion first now? Because all three of these girls are so good. Charlotte's so good. Sasha's so good. Becky Lynch, I can't believe how far she's come in such little time, having spent in the ring overall as a performer. I mean, it amazes me with this stuff that she can pull off. And she's kind of like, she's the crazy, I'll do whatever I can do girl out of the three. Charlotte is the pure technician, and Sasha Banks is the girl who can do both at the same time and then just pull out the submission match at the end, or submission at the end. So, I mean, I'm just such a huge fan of all three of those girls. Biggest issue now, though, is Bayley's hurt. So, unless you put it on freaking Dana Brooke, who everybody can't stand, what do you do with the NXT title? Because Sasha can't be on NXT and the main roster forever. It can't happen.
Yeah.
So, what does the NXT women's division actually get devalued because those three are on the main roster? That's my biggest fear. I mean, I'm trying to think of who's in the indies that they could sign real quick to prevent that from happening, but nobody's jumping out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's like you win some, you lose some.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I'm totally go watch those two matches on Raw because I know how much a fan you are of those three girls.
I will.
Absolutely. But yeah, and I probably don't even have to tell you, but the easiest place to go. Well, I'll tell you that off the air. I don't want to get like.
Yeah, I know where to find it.
Yeah, you know where to find it.
I want to see it. I know where to find it. I'm good.
You're good. So, but as far as Ring of Honor, do you like or dislike Jay Lethal keeping both titles right now?
I really like Jay Lethal in general, so I'm good.
But do you think it's a good idea for him to try and for him to hold both titles? Because they're both trying to be separate entities, and he's going to wear himself out, and eventually he's going to lose both, and then what?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see when we get there, right?
I guess. But I would have much preferred him, vacating the TV title and just focusing on the world title.
Yeah.
But the match with Roderick Strong in 2 nights is going to be amazing.
Is that who he's facing? That's cool.
Death Before Dishonors in 2 nights, which I totally forgot about until I looked down at the date here today, and I'm like, oh my god, it's 22nd, which means Death Before Dishonors in 2 days. But yeah, I can't wait for that match. It's gonna be great.
That sounds like really cool. I really like Roderick Strong too.
Yeah, well, Roderick won the number one contendership at Best in the World. Remember? He
I
beat.
have not seen it yet. It's on my queue. I also I'm gonna
Oh, so
watch
you just
the
so
before the lead up special they did too.
oh,
The
so
run up to.
you just knew that Jay Lethal beat Jay Briscoe because of
Yeah,
spoilers.
yeah, yeah. I know what happens. I haven't seen the match yet.
Okay, well the match. Oh my God.
I've kept abreast of the situation. I just haven't actually watched. You know.
Okay. Any thoughts at all about the whole TNA GFW cross promotion thing at all? Any thoughts on that at all?
It's only it's. I feel like uh, it's kind of. I feel like it's a ploy to try to see how GFW is responded to, and then they're just going to change names, get bought up by Jeff Jarrett or something. Like I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
You
I
mean
mean,
TNA gets turned into GFW?
yeah.
Like that's my theory too.
And then once
But
again, Jeff Jarrett can run the company into the ground by making poor decisions.
but here's my issue with that. I agree that Jeff Jarrett made poor decisions in the past, but was it because Jeff Jarrett had somebody else to answer to? He's never had the opportunity until GFW right now to actually truly be the one guy in charge.
You know, I don't know. That's a good point.
Because if you think about like way back in the 80s, Jerry was supposed to be the guy that would take over for Vince. Had the steroid controversy gone the wrong way, and Vince ended up in prison.
Yep.
Jerry was going to be the guy to run the WWF at the time. Mm-hmm. And everybody says that the Jarretts are really, really strong wrestling-minded people. They have a ton of respect in the business.
I just don't have any respect for him personally. He bothers me, you know, like.
Well, the whole Karen thing?
No, just him in general, like his personality, everything. It bothers me. It's not necessarily something he can control. It's just something I don't like. I don't like him.
Okay, well, I don't particularly like him either. I think his Chosen One character in WCW was pretty cool, but I don't particularly enjoy him as a person either. But I just don't think it's fair to say, okay, this guy sucks, because we really don't know. It's the same people that blame Eric Bischoff for the end of WCW. Was he there? Yes. Was he part of the problem? Yes. Was he the guy in charge at that point? No. AOL Time Warner screwed everything up in WCW and ruined WCW. So to say that Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo ruined WCW, no. There was a lot of behind the scenes corporate crap. I'm just not a big fan of wrestling failures getting put on one guy or the other. That's my whole thing. So we'll see what happens with the whole thing, and that's all we can really say about it. I guess to close this out, last thing I wanted to really get your opinion on about is the whole thing about Netflix is supposedly going to be raising prices for everybody soon. Fair, unfair.
I think it's perfectly fair. I mean, Netflix accounts for a large portion of internet traffic. They have to pay for that, so that buck is passed on to the end user. You know.
Yeah, but I think the fact that grandfather pricing is going to go away is going to make it harder on some people.
Yeah, they have a lot of long-term users. That's why, and I understand why they want to do that. I don't have a problem with price increase, because even if a price increase, as long as it's not more than I can afford, I'm going to keep Netflix, because I really like Netflix. I like having access to all this stuff.
And I found this
series. I love the original series to death, you know?
Yeah, and there's a site out there, and it's not illegal, because if it was, it wouldn't be, advertised. It was actually, when you search Netflix, it actually comes up. It's this thing called Unblock Us that you can sign up for. You get it free for a week, then you pay $50 a year, and you can go to any region, any country that you want. And so I'm a huge fan of that, because there's like no limit to the amount of what you can get on Netflix because of it. And that's what makes Netflix so cool, because you can pretty much, with the exception of shows that haven't been released properly or films that just don't have any kind of release, there's pretty much nothing, with the exception of DC, because they have a stronghold on a lot of their stuff. But there's pretty much nothing that you can't find on Netflix now, which is pretty awesome. So, like Brandon said, if you got to end up paying 25 for it instead of 10, I'm okay with that. As long as it's
Well,
not like, as long
if
as
it's
it's
like
not like,
$15, I'll be okay. Like whatever.
as long as it's not like 50 or 60, then it gets to the point where it's like
$25 is like the upper limit. I think they're trying not to get that high. Right now, they're the cheapest streaming with the most content.
Right, and that's why I don't want them to get away from.
Oh, they probably won't be. They're still.
Well,
even if they increase the price, it'll be like $1 or $2. I don't think it's going to.
Though, if WWE Network would get their crap together and just release their freaking entire library like they were supposed to do 2 years ago when the freaking network launched, they would be the cheapest streaming.
Right now, all I watch are pay-per-views and NXT occasionally.
I watch NXT every week. I watch pay-per-views, and I'm a big, huge fan of Nitro. And
I'm
champions.
I go through phases, and I'm in a non-wrestling phase for the most part. I'm in a movie phase. I'm just watching movies like constantly right now.
Yeah. Oh, I should tell people I'm not gonna. Well, I don't know. Should I pull Saturday Night Insanity right now and give away something that I haven't shown in the video yet?
I don't care. It's up to you, man.
Okay. What the heck? I can't show it right now because it's stuck in my mailbox because my mom isn't around at the moment.
Right.
But as soon as somebody can get out of the mailbox, got Interstellar finally.
Nice. I got. I wish I'd gotten the Neopack with the postcards and stuff. I wasn't able to find a copy, sadly.
Yeah.
So I got the normal.
Well, I got the regular editions because it was $10 on Amazon this week, and I had $9 in gift card balance. So in truth, I only paid $1.34 for Interstellar.
Very nice.
Because I paid the $1 and then I paid the 34 cents in tax. So I'm like, $1.34 for freaking Interstellar, who everybody says is like the greatest movie of 2014. Heck yeah, sign me up. 6 Ways from Sunday. So can't wait to finally see that because I'm a purist. If I know I'm going to love something, I want to see it in the best quality possible. And if I didn't get a chance to see it in IMAX 3D, which I didn't, I'm going to see it on freaking Blu-ray. I'm not going to watch a freaking cam torrent. I'm not going to freaking watch a bootleg DVD. No, I'm going to watch it in freaking high quality on Blu-ray. So I'm very, very excited to finally see what all the fuss is about Interstellar. People calling it the best Nolan movie ever, which, that's saying a lot. A heck of a lot. So, yeah, I can't wait to see. I'm a Matthew McConaughey fan after freaking, oh God, what was it? The thing where he's like, they got nominated for an Oscar for, God, my brain is so dead right now. Been talking too long. But yeah,
right? You're just like, I think you're out of steam, so when you're done with
I love McConaughey, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Interstellar finally. So yeah, look out for that review. Probably going to be the kind of film that because it's out on Blu-ray and widely available, there will be spoilers in the review. So if you're among the few who have not seen it, probably skip over it until you do.
Everyone craps on Anne Hathaway in that, but I really, really dug her in it. So.
Well, and I'm a big fan of Anne. I think she gets a very bad rap. But I'll save that tirade for the next episode because we're out of steam now. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun, as it always is. I love geeking out with Brandon. That's why we decided to do this because we're like, hey, we haven't hung out enough, and
absolutely,
there's always something to say. And this is going to be a geeky TV property, which is why it's called Geeky Reality. But there's technical issues happening with Geeky TV at the moment. But as soon as we get that sorted, it's going to be part of the Geeky TV family, which I'm looking forward to. So, with that being said, like we said, we're aiming for every week at 4. At the most, it's probably going to be every other week or every 3 weeks. We should probably just make it real easy on Brandon because all his commitments. We'll guarantee that we'll have a show at least once every 3 weeks, and hopefully more. Hopefully
that's
more.
Easy. That would be easy. I would say we could probably say every other week for sure.
Yeah.
But
hopefully every other week, or for a while every week, but at the most every 3 weeks we'll have an episode of Geeky Reality. the biggest problem for him is just my time zone that he's got to work around. So
yeah, and the fact that I do like 6 streams a week. I'm like a guest on like 4 of them and run like 2 more, and it's just like
yes,
it's a lot of work. Plus have to edit a million videos.
And speaking of other streams, people, I did get asked. I forgot this question. I did get asked why there's no reality of Insanity this week, because people like the fact that I'm sort of quasi a part of the Saturday Night Insanity crew again. Believe me, I like it too. But I was just so busy last week that I got behind on everybody's videos, so I just didn't have a chance to ask a question that was relevant.
Yeah, if you can't do it every week, it's cool. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just be like, hey guys, what's up? Give me a shout out. Like, no, there has to be like a legit contribution. So it'll be back this week because the only person, actually, ironically, you're the last one. I'm all caught up on Sean, all caught up on Stout, so it's you.
God, I'm sorry.
I gotta get caught up on you.
You're stuck watching my crap videos. Sorry.
And then we'll be good to go. But yeah, patreon.com/RazmanReality, Facebook.com/TheRazman, because I can't afford to boost my posts. My fan page is useless. Twitter.com/RazmanReality, YouTube.com/RazmanReality, RazmanReality.com, soon to be relaunched. Keep an eye out for that. Skinslip, the floor is yours, and then I will end the broadcast.
So go to youtube.com/user/Skinslip and go to my 600 subscriber contest and go enter, guys, as I'm giving away a $25 Amazon gift card plus a party box, prize box I'm going to send out. All sorts of goodies and some terrible stuff, but goodies too.
Friends eligible or not eligible for the contest? Everybody eligible?
Only subscribers. So as long as you're subscribed and you do a video.
Awesome.
The way it works is it's a scavenger hunt, right? So I have 10 criteria. You find 10 different movies. You don't have to. All you have to do is find them and talk about them for like a moment. Like, I like this movie. If there's a killer dog in it, and blah blah blah, just like a little thing, right? And then after you do that, that's your contest entry. And then if you want additional entries into the contest, you can do a review of the items that you chose. Newly created review, so it can't be like an old review.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to watch the video to fully understand exactly what you said, but hopefully I can edit that.
I also wrote all the out in text form in the description. So if maybe I'm talking fast in the video.
Knowing my physical challenges, though, is it going to be something I can do?
Or you might need to have some help getting stuff off your shelf and getting ready. But during the video, you should be fine. It's just picking up. Oh, I really like this movie. This is really cool. Hey, this is blah blah blah. That's all you have to do. And then you have to post your video. And you take that video and you post it as a response to my contest, so I can see it.
Which is, since they took away video responses, you might want to explain that. Well, I guess I'll just say it because I started it. He just posts the URL of the video down in the comments.
Correct.
And that's how he.
And then I have to go and improve it because I have a pretty strong spam filter on my my comments. But I go through at least 3-4 times a day and look at my spam box to make sure the right ones get approved. So.
Okay, cool. So how long are you running it for?
Running it till August 14th, so you have time.
So I have plenty of time too.
Yep.
Like if we see the concept and we're overwhelmed, we're like, need time to think about this. It's all good.
Yep. So, absolutely. Take your time, right. Get it in. Yeah.
Cool. So yes, I think he said it all. Skinslip everywhere. So.
Yep. Skinslip it everywhere. YouTube, Skinslip official on Facebook. Skinslip at Twitter. Skinslip on Letterboxd. Where else am I? Skinslip on Twitch that I never really use. Skinslip on Patreon, of course. You see that below me.
Yes.
I think that's everything. Yeah.
And we should point out, like our buddy Sean always says, Patreon is a thing that we have as an option for people who want to get back and want us to have more stuff to review. But our stuff is always going to remain free. Like, we're not.
Dude, like, that's the great thing is Patreon is a nice help. If everybody, one of my subscribers gave me $1 a month, I wouldn't have to be on disability.
Exactly.
And
that's my thing too. That's why I want to get it going too, because it's all about what I want to do, which is what I want to do. And the more content I have, the more stuff I can do. Like as full as those shelves are back there, and
what?
As full as those shelves are back there, we run out of stuff to review sometimes. So,
absolutely.
That's, the plus of Patreon. So no amount is too big, no amount is too small. Like Skinslip said, if you want to give us $1, we'll freaking jump for joy at that $1.
I'll thank you just the same. If you give me $1, if you give me $100, I'll give you a shout out. If you gave me $100 a month, because that's like, holy crap, you're a real patron of the arts. Let me patron you.
Oh, speaking of $100, that's what I forgot. I was like, please, God, when I end this show, there was one big thing I forgot. The Back to the Future 30th anniversary set. Thoughts on that?
Unless it's a remaster, I don't want it.
Are you going to get the animated series by itself?
I don't know.
So you don't know if you're a fan.
I don't know. I might, if it's for the right price. Everything's for the right price, right? I mean, I'd like the Back to the Future show quite a bit, so I assume I would get it at some point. I just don't know. Like, I want the box set, but I'm not gonna pay $90 for it. I think at most I'd pay like $40 for it. It's 3 movies in a cartoon series, and nobody cares about the cartoon series. Nobody remembers it. I guarantee you, 90% of the people who see that set go, "There was a cartoon series." I guarantee that.
Well, then maybe more like 75%, because there was quite a few people geeking out over the fact that it's finally getting released.
Most people, I would gather, don't even know it exists. So,
but for those who wonder why DVD and not Blu-ray, it's because it was filmed and edited on standard F videotape, so there's no point. And I mean, they could put it on Blu-ray to save disk space, but that's all that they would get.
I'd rather they just put it on Blu-ray.
I agree with that, because I think the DVD format needs to die completely. I mean, there's no point. Even stuff that doesn't benefit transfer-wise from a Blu-ray disc should be put on a Blu-ray disc, because you can put out less disk space and save yourself money. I mean, you're freaking cutting back on packaging. Like, Stell's already done this rant, so we don't need to do this rant again. Right. But you're freaking cutting back on discard, on packaging, because you're trying to save money. Why are you trying to save money that way through freaking packaging and eco cases that damages our crap, instead of just putting everything on the better disc format and save yourself money?
I mean, like, how do I explain this? Like, the way DVD works, it's a piss poor medium for showing moving images. All the blacks get crushed. You get the DNR things to make it look good, because otherwise the artifacting of the fucking encoding will like pick up like film grain and fuck it all up, and you have to edge enhancement after you blur it with DNR, and so you have to like do a whole bunch of process to make a film look acceptable on DVD. Right. So the fact you don't have to do any of that on Blu-ray, you just color time it, make it look good, slap it on, slap it on the disc and release it. I mean,
and if you really don't understand the difference between,
no-brainer.
Yeah. And if you really at this point don't understand the difference between source material that can benefit from high def and source material that can't, then you're not watching a podcast like this, because you completely have no brain in your head at this point.
Well, I mean,
because
any video source is going to look better on Blu-ray, because Blu-ray was designed inherently to look more film-like, and thus more like all the things we have watched for the last 100 years. I mean, yeah.
Right. But I'm saying if you don't understand the difference between an image that's taken from a videotape source versus an image that's taken from a film source, then there's really nothing I can do for you to help make you understand that. I mean, you can't make milk out of a freaking straw.
Yep.
Like, that's a bad analogy. I don't know where that came from. But you
milk a chicken. You ever try milking a chicken?
Exactly. You can't milk a chicken. So you can't make a mountain out of a molehill. It is what it is. The source material of a video image is what it is. So it can only be as good as what it is. But yeah, I think that I will get it, simply because I want the animated series, for one thing. And another thing is bonus features. Killing me. Because I'm a huge bonus features guy, and I know you are too. You've got so many additions of stuff over and over again because you want all the special features. And when it said new material, a new disc, I was like, dang it. You got me. There's more.
Maybe.
There's more material. So you got me. Um, the biggest thing is though, there was a, and it's not. I'm not gonna rant about it because people that rant about it are stupid. Because there's been far worse releases, but there's very minuscule amount of DNR and a very minuscule amount of edge enhancement on the 25th anniversary transfers. So it would be nice if we got a remastered transfer that didn't have those issues. That would be nice.
I honestly looking at the master, like the Blu-ray, it looks pretty good. I can see what people have a problem with. But honestly, if that was the only release we ever got, what could have gotten worse? It's pretty decent.
Right, right. And that's why I say it's very minuscule. It's not like it's freaking Predator or freaking Mary Poppins where they look like freaking wax figures.
Or or Oliver and Company. God.
Yeah. Yeah. And that Oliver and Company really upset me because that's my favorite Disney movie of all the time, too. But yeah, it'd be nice to have new transfers, but I don't think we're going to get new transfers because it hasn't been enough.
So, I don't know. Maybe not.
We'll see.
I'm pretty sure that was a 4K scan. It may not be a new master, but maybe it'll be an undiddled with master, well,
and that's the thing. It just needs to be a master that isn't messed with because they really didn't need to mess with that master. That's why it's so minuscule because they did very little with it. But they could have just left it alone and it would have been perfect.
If Criterion doesn't do it, you shouldn't be touching it at all. That's the rule. If Criterion doesn't use heavy DNR, don't touch the DNR knob and turn it up.
Right. Shoot, I got one more small question. I swear this is going to be really small. We will get out of here, but I just keep remembering stuff when we sign off, which is always the case. But Sean mentioned this in a recent video, and I know you probably have an opinion on this. You may have already put a video out on it, because like I said, I'm kind of behind on you. But Arrow Video finally doing North American releases.
Yeah, I've got a few. We've got a few of the North American releases, including... Society. This right now is currently ranked at #1 release of the year. I have not found anything better than it yet. So,
that's awesome.
This is amazing. This is a very disturbing film.
Yeah,
very.
I heard Sean talk about it, and I'm like, yeah, probably not my cup of tea.
You'll see my video review. There's some clips from it. You'll be like, oh no, or you'll be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to see. You'll know.
Oh, cool. I definitely will check that out. But yeah, I'm glad that Arrow's finally doing North American releases because it certainly makes things a lot easier, and it'll spur the debate more about who's better between Arrow and Criterion.
I don't know. I think you get to go release by release, and I think Criterion just has a better track record because they have more releases.
They do.
Less mess ups, Early Arrows were bad. Well, I mean, early Criterions were bad too. Seems to be a thing. A lot of first year Scream Factories are pretty bad too. So
yeah. So with that, somebody asked like my top 10 wish list stuff. I'll do that next podcast because I'm cool. Maybe Skinslip want to chime in on that too. But
absolutely. You muted yourself or unplugged your mic.
Oh, I did. I hit my mute button there. Sorry.
Okay.
But we've been going too long here and we're out of steam. So
yep.
We gotta have room if we're gonna do this regularly. We gotta have room to have more stuff. So keep sending in questions. Keep blowing up my Twitter, blowing up my Facebook. I don't care. I mean, I will always interact with all the viewers, and this will probably be the way I do it because it's always nice to have somebody to bounce off of. So with that, we're out. I hope you enjoyed episode number 1 of Geeky Reality, and we will be back soon. Just stay tuned to, our social media, possibly the geeky.com Facebook as well. Like, we'll let you know for sure when this next episode will happen. But like I said, the goal is, a minimum every 3 weeks, hopefully every 2 weeks.
We're shooting for next week. We'll see. Depends on how crazy things are.
Basically it's Brandon. As long as Brandon can go, I'll go. But if he says I can't go, then we won't go. So there you go.
You can always just blame it on me. It's cool.
Yeah. See you, everybody.
Peace.